Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat. For those who desire eye-watering performance in a versatile package, we'll be taking a look at the Bonefish Hill Tide 22.
I had to keep reminding myself that we're there to test a fishing boat. The racing characteristics of this boat were something to behold. It was such an exciting boat to drive.
If you require a boat outfitted to keep the entire family entertained, we'll be looking at the Cobia 240 DC.
All right, so packed a lot for the day because I knew we had a lot of fun to be had on the water. Wasn't a doubt in my mind that there wasn't room on this boat to store everything and keep everything off the deck, and I was right.
And for the offshore angler who wants to be competitive at any level, we'll be taking a look at the Blackwater 43.
You know, there's not a lot of boats that make me say this. There's not a lot of boats anymore that make me go, wow. But wow is what I thought when the minute I saw the Blackwater 43.
All coming up on Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
Welcome to another season of Florida Sportsman Best Boat. We got 39 great boats to go through this year. There is some major evolution going on in the boating industry. Captain George Labonte, tell me what's coming up.
You're right, Rick. We've got a great season lined up for everybody this year, and I'm very happy to bring Lori Hargrave in front of the spotlight. Lori has been behind the scenes with us for a couple of years, and she's going to be bringing a valuable insight from a woman's perspective about the boats that I think you're really going to enjoy.
I'm glad you guys finally got smart and put me on camera so I can tell our viewers just about these boats and how important it is to have the family features out there, because it's just not the dad on the boat anymore, it's everyone.
Now, we've seen boats in the past 3 seasons I've been here from Bonefish. Bonefish brings us a brand new hull from them. It's the 22 Hilltide. Now this boat, you know, Lori, you and I spent a lot of time on this boat, and this boat brings something that all the Bonefish have in common. It's a sports car and a boat mixed into one. Lori, you and I had a lot of fun on that Bonefish boat. Actually, you caught your first tarpon on that boat.
Yes, I did, but I gotta tell you guys, I'm really excited for everyone to take a look at this Cobia 240 DC. For the simple fact is, it is a family boat. Not only is it a family boat, you can get offshore, inshore, sandbar fun.
I tell you what, I had a phenomenal time on the 43 Blackwater TE. That thing is sport fish comfortable and wide open 360-degree fishable. Everything about it was ready to go hit the tournament trail. I tell you what, we got a great season ahead of us. Let's get it started.
When we return, our hosts take a look at a boat designed for versatility and speed, the Bonefish Hill Tide 22. But first, let's join FS boating editor George Labonte as he learns about the latest in sonar advancements from Navionics in this week's seminar segment.
I'm here today with Paul Mickley from Navionics. Paul's brought us some really exciting new technology from Navionics. It's available with the Platinum Plus card series. Tell us a little bit about the sonar chart shading, Paul. I've been waiting a while to see it.
Sure, George. So this is a brand new feature, as you mentioned, on the Platinum Plus card. It encompasses all coastal areas around the entire U.S., both in the bays, the estuaries, and just off the beach out to about 3 nautical miles. What we've done is highlight the contours and being able to see kind of a 3D image to really make it simple and identifiable on the spots you're looking for. So you can easily see ledges, you can check out lumps, you can check out drop-offs, look at your channels. So once you look at it, a lot of questions I get are, what are all these lines on my chart? You try to explain these are the 1-foot sonar chart contours. Well, with sonar chart shading, we've made it very easy for you to look at it and say, I know what that is, and go there and find some fish or navigate, you know, with the best chart you can.
Paul, that sounds awesome. You know what? Something that's really exciting about this to me, and this is a great feature for people that have Navionics cartography, you know, giving you a different look at stuff on the inside. This is technology we've seen out in the deep ocean for a while, but bringing that into the inland waters and freshwater, you know, that's going to give you a look at stuff you might not have ever even considered in the backwater fishing in this type of environment. Very cool. If you haven't seen this before, you need to check it out from Navionics.
This segment brought to you by FWC, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Sorry it's last minute, but I can't make it. Good luck out there.
Hey honey,
heading out of town now. Not sure where I'm going since Mark couldn't make it, but I'll call you when I get back. Bye.
Northeast winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming south 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 3 feet for the dominant period.
Dispatch, subject signal 7. Looks like he fell overboard without a flight check.
10-4 will arrange notification to family.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they take a closer look at the Bonefish Hill Tide 22. Representing the bay boat category, the Bonefish Hill Tide 22 has an overall length of 22 feet, a beam of 8 feet 7 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 300. Designed for versatility and performance, she has a draft of 11 inches, a dead rise of 12 degrees, a dry weight of 2,200 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 44 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
What's with you two guys? You look like you've been riding in an open wheel racer or something this morning.
You know me and you know Bonefish boats and the way I feel about them, and you know, they brought us a couple of boats over the last 2 years that I've gotten to run, and there's nothing not fun about running one of their boats. I knew that was going to be the case, so we had to sneak out and run this thing, and you better strap in. It's going to get interesting.
This Bonefish Hill Tide 22 can ride. Let's go see if she can fish too.
I'm in. Let's go.
From the moment Lori and I left the dock in the morning on the Hilltide 22, I had to keep reminding myself that we were there to test a fishing boat. The racing characteristics of this boat were something to behold. It was such an exciting boat to drive. Not very often I get excited about going fast on a boat, but this was going to be an exception. I really enjoyed the sports car-like feel of this boat.
The boat was fast, but the best part is I never felt unsafe. The boat gripped the water like you wouldn't believe. I felt like I was on a ride at Disney World and I didn't want to get off.
We quickly motivated to 60 miles an hour on the boat, and the acceleration throughout the entire throttle range was instant. Now, one trait with a race boat that the Hilltide didn't have in common was this boat was really efficient. In fact, at 40 miles an hour, it showed us 4 miles per gallon efficiency, which is unheard of. The bottom of this boat was really well equipped to handle choppy water outside the inlet and on the ocean. And we took it out. It was a little bit choppy, and we ran it around without any problem whatsoever.
The Bonefish Hill Tide 22 is like the marriage of a bay boat and a flats boat. It's a little bigger than a flats boat, 22 feet with a lot of beam, and is small enough to still get good and shallow and fish very, very effectively.
We got the boat back inside, and the first thing that jumped out to me was the deck space on this boat.
The boat is really fishable. I had plenty of room to work on. Nothing to trip over, nothing to get hung up on, and that really proved when I hooked up on my tarpon today. I was able to jump up on that bow and really move around, super stable. George kept yelling back at me, "Let me see your line, Lori, so I can follow the fish." I had no problem moving back and forth on the bow.
There were 3 of us on the Bonefish Hill Tide 22 today. We were looking for a 4th because we were seeing enough fish and we had all the real estate you could ever want. We wanted lines going every direction at one time.
The Hilltide 22 offered numerous rod holders, actually 8 on the console, several others across the back, and under gunnel rod storage as well. The Bonefish was definitely not lacking in that department. Now, on our test day, we didn't get a chance to use any live bait, but the Hilltide 22's got you covered in that department. This boat features 2 live wells, a 30-gallon well on the rear casting deck and another 20-gallon live well on the forward casting deck.
One thing an old man appreciates is a step getting up onto the casting platform. This one had a unique one. It was a little bit offset, but the live well was right there. We weren't live bait fishing, but had we been, it would have been perfect for dipping up a greenie on your way up into the bow to throw at a tarpon.
As far as dry storage is concerned, the Hilltide 22 was lacking for nothing. It offered several different places below the deck, both forward and aft, to store gear. In addition to below deck storage, a forward lifting hatch on the front of the console provided access to another storage option and access to your systems behind the helm. The Hilltide 22 that we tested was so hot off the press that they didn't even have time to put a top on it. However, Bonefish offers it in a few different configurations, from a classic T-top, hard top, riser deck, to a full tower with controls.
Bad news for you two guys, neither one of you are getting paid today. You got to drive all day long, and this thing is a kick to drive, and you became a tarpon fisherman today.
The Hilltide 22 from Bonefish Boats You know, like everything they've ever brought us, it was just a blast to drive. The thing fishes like a champ. It's so maneuverable. It'll get you offshore and go shallow enough to go flats fishing too. It's a win.
Yes, sir. If you're looking for the perfect blend between a bay boat and a flats boat, I'm going to tell you the Bonefish Hill Tide 22 might be just down your alley.
When we return, our hosts examine a boat built to handle all of the family's needs, the Cobia 240 DC. This segment brought to you by Navionics. Escape the ordinary. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they take a closer look at the Cobia 240 DC. Representing the dual console category, the Cobia 240 DC has an overall length of 25 feet 1 inch, a beam of 8 feet 10 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 300. Built to keep the family comfortable, she has a draft of 14 inches, a dead rise of 21.5 degrees, a dry weight of 4,200 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 123 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
What in the world is this?
Oh my God.
Guys.
What do we have here?
George, I feel our great day's fishing we had planned slowly slipping away.
Guys, we're on the 240 DC from Cobia. Come on, we're here to play today. I got the tube as a ski bar. I want to play. I got the kids today.
So no fishing?
I told you not to let her see the ski bar.
Hey, do you guys always travel with this much baggage? Okay, listen, I'm gonna be impressed. If we can load all this stuff on this boat right here, I'll be impressed. We'll go play around. It doesn't have to be all about fishing.
All right, so packed a lot for the day because I knew we had a lot of fun to be had on the water. Wasn't a doubt in my mind that there wasn't room on this boat to store everything and keep everything off the deck, and I was right. We had a lot, and I had both consoles packed, I had the bow packed, I even had the tackle station packed with fishing gear. Everything was stowed and out of the way, and we were ready for a day of fun.
When it was time to head for the ocean, everybody took their places in various seating arrangements all around the boat. It was hard to believe we were on a 24-foot boat. There were 7 of us on this boat, and we never felt crowded.
The way the windshield is designed, it really blocked out all the wind, and everybody was able to have a conversation, and nobody was screaming or trying to talk over each other, and I can appreciate that.
Now, although the 240 DC isn't set up as a serious tournament fishing style boat, it's absolutely fishable. In fact, this live well, for example, we wanted to do a little bit of fishing in the morning. It held more than enough bait for us to accomplish our needs. When we arrived at the spot, I was at the helm. Rick was right behind me at the tackle center. He had everything he needed right there at his fingertips while we rigged up and discussed a game plan to get these boys into some fish. You know, Rick, one of the great things about a dual console configuration is, look at this. I mean, we've got 3 separate areas here where stuff's going on. In between bites fishing, kids are up here talking, the girls are here talking, you're working the baits. I mean, when the fishing blows up, everybody comes back here, but for now, we're spread out really nice.
We really are. We had kid talk going on there. We had girl talk going on here. A scream and drag stops it all.
The cockpit on this Cobia was deceptively large. The area in the back allowed all 7 people to stand there and enjoy watching the boys catch their fish.
So while we were fishing today, you didn't see the stern seating. That's because we literally folded it back into the boat. Perfect platform for fishing, opened it up. Well, when we were done, it just literally pops right back out. Sit down, you cruising, riding back into the sandbar, or just lounging. It was a super nice setup.
I love it when a plan comes together. My plan was to fish all day, but that wasn't gonna be it. After everybody caught a big fish or 2, the kids dove off the bow and started swimming.
I can appreciate a good stern ladder. Rick went over there, just popped it right out. Boys were able to climb onto the boat, super easy, not tripping over anything. So we got to the sandbar and it was time to set up for lunch. My girlfriend was able to go into the stern and took the tackle station and actually turned it into like a little mini kitchen. She set up some appetizers, and as she was doing that, I went up to the bow, popped up the table, and started putting lunch out for everybody. We also had super easy access to the cooler under the lounge seat, out of the way.
I was in tall cotton, man. I was sitting at the helm, not having to move, and I had Joanna behind me setting up appetizers, Lori in the bow making plates up with lunch on it, people handing me food and drinks, and I'm not moving. I was loving it.
All right, best part of the day, for the kids at least, was the tubing. They could not wait to get that thing in the water.
Now, as the driver, I have to admit I was a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Naturally, my first concern was the safety of the boys once we put them in the water, and pulling somebody behind the boat on a tube, you know, there's a few things you have to consider. One, being able to see them in the water, and I've got to look in front of me and behind me. Having seats behind where the people could look back and stay in communication with me was very important. Also, the tow bit being overhead was very useful as well, due to the fact that the line stays up above everybody's head and out of the motors. Two very critical points. That was a long, fun day. I still can't believe we got all that stuff on this boat.
It wasn't only a fun day, it was full. We did a little bit of everything. As soon as the kids caught their fish, they were ready to go. I could have stayed there and fished all day.
Not only did we accomplish every water activity there is out there, but going to the sandbar, eating lunch, hanging out, it was a great day. I'm pretty sure though the kids are exhausted. And I found them at the pool drinking a pina colada.
I think we pretty well wore them out, that's for sure. But let me tell you, that's what this Cobia 240 DC is all about. You name a water activity, it's up to it.
When we come back, our hosts step aboard a boat where fishing happens at the highest levels, the Blackwater 43. This segment brought to you by Suzuki, the ultimate outboard motor. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they check out the Blackwater 43. Representing the 33 to 53 foot class in the center console category, the Blackwater 43 has an overall length of 43 feet, a beam of 11 feet 11 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 1400. Engineered for hardcore offshore fishing and adventure, she has a draft of 36 inches, a dead rise of 24 degrees, a weight of 18,000 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 780 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
George, Rick, what are we doing today? I feel like I'm on a cruise ship.
We're going for a ride we've been trying to go on for a year. Hey Rick, sorry man, I don't feel like walking all the way back there. That's why I called you. This is a boat that we've been trying to see for a year. I'm so excited about it, the Blackwater 43 SF. What do you think, man? We head offshore in this thing today and see what it's all about?
I don't like it, George. I wish I did, but any excuse you might have for not catching fish, it just went away. You're going anywhere you want to go. The ocean's going to be calm, but it wouldn't matter if it wasn't calm. No excuses for not racking up a big day today.
Well, let's go see if we can catch a fish. How about it? It didn't take long to figure out after I saw all the live well capacity and obviously the overall size of the cockpit on the boat, the working space, that we're going to have no problem being competitive in any kind of arena if we decide to fish on that. We're really excited to get out on her and see what she could do, so we took off. Now there's a lot of center consoles out there these days that'll go over 60 miles an hour, but there's a catch. Not all of them will go over 60 miles an hour and you're going to feel good about doing it. While on this boat, we ran at 50 miles an hour and we're so comfortable and just easing back, taking a ride. I was able to see a sooty turn at about 300 yards away while going 50 miles an hour, hit the brakes and dipped down on a dolphin. We turned really quick, ran over to it, stopped the boat, and caught the fish real quick and went on our way. On another boat where you're hanging on for your life, you might not have been able to pull that off. After a quick run down the beach, we ran up on a really small bait rock and came up on a bunch of guys that were commercial fishermen and kingfish guys that were trying to catch sardines. For such a large boat, this boat was very maneuverable and real easy to handle in a tight spot. We loaded up on bait in no time and got on our way offshore.
I gotta tell you, when I checked out the fact that we had 140 total gallons of live well space, a 60 and 240s, Each live well is run by a 3,500 gallon pump, but it also has a spare pump alongside of it in a sea chest in case you have pump trouble, which invariably everybody has. What a great concept. Not only appreciated the size of the tackle storage on the Blackwater 43, it was organized, it was laid out with everything easy to get to, and then it was all gone out of sight. Lori could turn it into a snack table or set up lunch for us. The boat was so functionally elegant.
Now, a popular way to fish in South Florida is to drift fish. You see a lot of people rigger fish, a lot of people troll, but drift fishing with live bait is so popular here, and that requires that you're going to fish in the trough a lot of the times. One of the benefits of a 43-foot long boat is the amount of gunnel length you have and all the rod holders that you can put onto that gunnel. It really gives you the opportunity to put a huge bait spread in the water, and if you've got the wind to put a kite up, you've got baits downwind, you've got baits upwind, and you can spread out a bunch of baits, cover a huge footprint.
So I really wanted to check out the front lounge on the boat, so I decided to take my lunch up there today and relax, and I quickly realized so much room. You could have multiple people laying out. Then I remembered the bow seating as well. The possibilities are endless when it comes to how many people can get up on this boat. This boat might have been about fishing, but I'm gonna tell you something, they did not forget the family. I couldn't stand looking at this beautiful water all day. I had to jump in. Having that dive door makes it so much easier getting on and off the boat. Okay, so fishing was a little slow and I found out that the cabin had air conditioning. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little comfortable in there. I felt like I was in a little mini dorm. I had a sink, I had a head, I had a full resting spot. I definitely could see myself spending the night on that boat.
George, we spend a lot of days on the water, but some days you just don't want to come back to the dock.
Yeah, and this boat, it doesn't surprise me in the least. I mean, I knew this boat was going to impress me. I love the 39. I love this one even more. What a boat.
Impressed? That's what you guys told me. We were on a hard offshore fishing boat today. I step on and I see luxury, and I've been comfortable the whole day. I actually fell asleep twice today behind your back.
They've really managed to combine a lot of luxury like you see in South Florida, like Miami speedboat kind of style, with a serious fishing boat, and this is all fishing boat. And Rick, how about the ride? I mean, 50 miles an hour, felt like we were standing still. I mean, what more could you want?
It wasn't the fact that it was due 50 miles an hour, it was the fact that how it felt doing 50 miles an hour. We weren't running by the camera boat, I thought they'd lost an engine.
Exactly. I mean, a 20,000 pound boat going 60 miles an hour is just a whole different animal. This boat felt solid. I mean, nothing about this boat disappointed me today. I wish I had 3 more days to fish on it.
What a fun week, guys. We had 3 incredible boats.
We did have 3 great boats. And hey, listen, if you'd like any more information about those 3 boats or any boat you see on Florida Sportsman Best Boat, go to floridasportsman.com.
Or tune in next week for another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.